So today I have the pleasure to be sitting with Mr. Aakshat Sinha. And Aakshat to me is a bit of an enigma, actually. He's very hard to figure out. I'm not quite sure what his politics are. I'm not quite sure of his views of life. But he's very well traveled, and I think one reason he's an enigma is because he understands that the world is very complex. He sees a lot of complexities in everything, which I think is one of his strong points, and one reason I really, really like you as a person.
Thank you.
You're very easy to talk to. So the first thing I want to ask you, you have been working in Delhi for many years now with teams of young artists who paint murals. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that to begin with?
So I started working with Delhi street art many years back, since the inception. I was actually there for their first drive at the Lodi Gardens when we were painting the dustbins.
Okay.
I mean, it was unheard of. This is still September 2013. And I met Yogesh for the first time. He was an NRI, and he had shifted back to India recently, and while jogging he noticed that the dustbins were looking very bad, as
They
they
were
do.
looking very dusty.
Dusty
And rusty.
Not just that, they were green, so they were new, but they were ugly.
Yeah.
And he thought about what could he do, to make some changes. He was an engineer himself. He, if I'm not wrong, from the Delhi College of Engineering, long back, and then he traveled and he stayed abroad for a long time. He had his own companies in the Silicon Valley. And once he returned, he had carried his passion for art. So he used to spray paint when he was abroad, in Singapore and in the US. And he brought that graffiti sort of public art to India, one of the pioneers. And when I was there with all the other young artists, and he reached out very interestingly, and I know it's probably a long take, but he brought that thing about those strips that you paste at places,
The
and
decals.
people can pull out, and then it's
right. The
Yeah.
little tabs you take off.
Yeah,
for a
so he
phone
would put
number or
his phone
something
number
like
there
that.
and ask for artists to come. He didn't have any money to give to the artist. And none of the College of Arts students to whom he reached out to were really interested in any activity that did not involve payment. I mean,
Right,
at
of
least the
course.
people he met. And
Yeah, art students can be very greedy.
that's right. And at that time, I think it was still Orkut. We were on
Right.
Orkut, and Georgina Maddox put out a post of his. I don't know how they knew each other. And since we were friends on Orkut with her, and I reached the venue, and I was there, and I was painting a dustbin, and it kind of changed things for me, because working in a public space where people, just walking by and have no understanding or knowledge of what you are doing, at times they feel that you're defacing whatever is there. Do you have permissions? Why are you doing this and not that? Why is it not something which is related more to the idols of society? Why are you not making their portraits or deities or whatever? And then you explain to them that art can be much more than that, and art in public spaces can be much more
So
than
if
that.
I interrupt you, Georgina
Yeah.
Maddox is the person who got you
Yeah,
going.
I mean-
she's a very good person, and she's well connected in this area.
Absolutely.
Of social activism. She's
We had
well
never worked
connected.
together by then.
Right.
I just think that we were friends on Orkut.
Georgina gave me one of my first good reviews in Mumbai when she worked for the Indian Express
Well,
in
she's a
Mumbai
sweetheart.
many years ago. She's
Yeah.
a good person, yeah.
She's a good person. She's been doing a lot of good work. So from that 2013, I kept working with Delhi Street Art as a volunteer, and they would have a lot of volunteer-based activities. 50 people, 100 people from different walks of life, students, doctors, engineers, anybody who wanted to come. They used to have a drive every couple of months where you could come and paint a public wall. So he would get the permissions.
So did this involve training? Did you have to train these artists, or were
No,
they
not
naturally
initially.
gifted? And
I
did you
think-
just provide them with like a sketch or a Photoshop rendering of what they needed to paint on the wall, and then they just followed that? Or how did the process actually
So
work?
there was already a team in place of artists, and these were College of Art students. By then he already had that kind of a team, and they would plan. So he would do the planning and the designing for the wall much before, and the sketch would be done by him and the artist, and then the people would come in and fill in by colors, by numbers, sort of.
All right, okay.
Sort of. But what that allowed was a lot of people to explore that they could actually paint
Right.
and they could sketch.
And it gave them a sense of satisfaction.
Sense of satisfaction and sense of giving back as well to the community.
Right.
And that helped, and the social media obviously helped.
And what sort of subjects did you address?
So the subjects would be, I'm sorry to say, because they were in public spaces with the permissions, they would be around the cleanliness campaigns or
Yeah.
things like that.
Well, that's all good.
But that's also good.
Stuff.
It's
Yeah, of
it's
course.
about how you represent what you're representing.
Nothing heavily political or anything
no,
like that.
no, nothing
And
political
sometimes
for sure.
purely decorative, I'm sure.
Purely decorative as well. Some art forms, folk art forms were used, or just flowers, just to beautify the space, which is also good because you've got to allow the spaces to be, have their own identity.
Right.
But post-COVID, and that's a big jump, post-COVID, we still kept in touch. He was part of an exhibition that I did. He was a brilliant photographer as well. And he reached out to me and he wanted somebody to come on board with experience. And I joined Delhi Street Art as the CEO in 2021, right after COVID. I worked with him for a few years and unfortunately we lost him in 2 years back
What you
to a
mean
heart
you lost
attack.
him? He left?
No, he passed away.
Oh, he passed
He was
away.
about 10 years elder to me.
Ah, okay.
We had
he
so
died
many.
of old age, basically.
No, he was fit as a fiddle. He was running marathons.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and he was really fit. He
I
was
wish I
very
could run
conscious about
marathons.
his.
Yeah.
I wish so too. No, actually, I don't wish.
I have to stop smoking. Oh, by the way, congratulations for 6 months of being smoke-free.
Yes,
I
thank
wish
you
I
so
could
much.
say that.
Yeah.
I'm not smoking today, if you notice. I'm not smoking. So
Thank you.
anyway, I didn't even bring cigarettes with me.
That's already a start.
That's a start.
The start
yes.
is not to have them around when you have the craving.
Right.
Yeah, so-
Exactly. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here smoking during the interview, probably.
Yeah, I think because it comes sort of naturally and it becomes something that you fill your gap with, I think.
So now, I don't know if I'm getting confused here, but now you have your own, like,
I have my own company.
is it a company or NGO? It's a
No,
company.
it's a partnership firm.
It's a partnership
Yashika,
firm,
she was a project manager with Delhi Street Art, and the two of us started a new organization. It's called Nation Street Art, and we do lots of similar activities. We work with the NDMC, MCD, we work with the embassies, and we still try to run that idea of having volunteer-based events where people can come and paint and not be
And then you
judged for
started
that.
up your own gallery.
I did.
And what was the name of the gallery?
Urban Fringe, the underground
Urban
studio.
Fringe Gallery.
Yeah.
And that lasted a while, but now it's shut, but it's not
The gallery
dead.
space is shut. The concept is still on because we've moved from that just as a pure space where we would have exhibitions and workshops and collaborative stuff. This was in Okhla in New Delhi, and I don't know, maybe there was already premonition that we would be shutting down. We did a show at the India Art Festival in Mumbai, and we exhibited 2 international artists there. And we plan to do India Art Festival Delhi in November, and there again there will be 2 international
Okay,
artists.
that's very good.
Yeah.
So next I want to get to Nizhny Novgorod.
Yeah.
Did I
you're
say
right.
it right?
You said it
Nizhny
right.
Novgorod,
Yes.
Russian.
Right.
You have a strong connection with Russia.
Right.
You keep going to Russia.
Right.
So tell me about your Russian experiences. Why do you go there? How did you form the connection? You're actually organizing shows and bringing Indian artists to Russia and exhibiting them. I think you did that in 2024.
Right. I did.
So
yeah.
just speak about that a little bit.
So actually, right after my education, school education, I got an opportunity as a scholarship to study mechanical engineering in Moscow. So I did a 1 year of preparatory faculty, which was the language itself, and then 4 years of bachelor's, then 2 years of master's, and then I was doing PhD as well. So there was a long association. I fortunately, unfortunately, dropped off from the working as an engineer, and I came back to India in 2000. So almost a decade of staying in Russia. The language, the people, and the associations, relationships that were built there, they stayed with me. And so when I shifted to art in 2006, I did a diploma in fine arts and I shifted to art beyond that, having some sort of a technical grounding. Immediately I started reaching out to the access that I had to Russia, and
And you speak Russian, correct?
I speak Russian. I
He
used
speaks
to.
Russian.
Yeah.
He speaks Russian. And I have a hard time saying
Nizhny Novgorod.
Nizhny Novgorod.
So Nizhny
Yes.
Novgorod is actually, the original name was Gorky. So Maxim Gorky,
Oh,
he
that I
comes
can
from that
remember.
same town. And so they changed the name back to Nizhny Novgorod, which was the name before that. And I took a show of 44 Indian artists with 349 physical works to Nizhny Novgorod at the Art Russia. At that time, it was called Art Russia. Now it's called Art Mir. And 2017, there were 6 of us Indians who went there. So I mean, there was me and there were 5 more Indian artists who went with me. Yeah, ours was the second largest stall in the pavilion. I mean, there were 6 big pavilions. The African was the biggest one, and Indian was the same. We were called Indian Contemporaries. And I was trying to put out all different kinds of works, deliberately no traditional folk art. So we had printmakers, we had watercolorists, we had mixed media artists.
You have so many connections with because you were talking about projects in Lithuania.
Yeah.
You work with the American embassy, I think.
Yeah.
You work with all of these embassies, so you just have connections all over the place. I think recently you were in Europe, and where did you all travel in Europe on this last time?
So I went from Italy, so I went to Rome, Venice, I went to the Vatican as well, and then Florence, Lucerne in Switzerland, then we went to Paris, Belgium, so we went to Brussels, then we went to Antwerp, and then Amsterdam, and then back.
Sounds wonderful.
So 19 days of beauty all around you. I mean, that's one thing, you can keep going back to Europe. Even if you don't walk into a museum, which you should, even if you don't do that, the cities themselves, there's so many things to do.
I absolutely love Europe. I love Europe. In fact, I ended up in India partially because Tommy and I had decided that if we lived half of our year in India, we could afford to live the other half in Italy.
Affordability, I think,
reasons why I ended up here. I didn't tell you that yesterday when we were talking over lunch. But anyway. So anyway, I'm trying to keep these interviews shorter because people don't listen to our interviews. I've learned that. So I'm going to say, unless there's something else you want to add.
So, one part that probably people know and some of them don't is I work as a freelance curator.
Yes.
And I have been curating solo shows. I have kind of restricted the group exhibitions that I used to do because I feel more comfortable working with individuals. Trying to work on an exhibition that really represents an idea in totality. And now I'm also working with an estate of Umesh Vermaji, whose solo show was the first solo show that I curated in 2016. But yeah, I've got the opportunity to exhibit works of Guy, who was from France. Then we've had Maria Rent from Russia. I have
so
Ivan
nice that you're
Yazikov.
bringing European artists to India to show, because that rarely happens, honestly.
I try to bring that which is not available.
And like,
Be
we
the
were
Indian art
talking
abroad.
yesterday, and when I broke into the art scene in 2006, we agreed that was partly due to my white privilege, that doors opened. But actually, also was the fact I was one of the first people who did it. There were very few Europeans or Americans who were exhibiting. They'd always come take pictures in India, then they'd go back to New York, London, Tokyo, wherever, and exhibit them. And I was one of the first ones who actually exhibited in India. So that created a big commotion. I got a lot of attention because I was having the exhibitions here.
I think white privilege is
it's real.
It's easy to say because the difficult part was you following it up. You took the charge, you went around India, you walked into galleries, you walked into newspaper rooms asking them for interviews.
The Deccan Herald.
Yeah, the point is that you did that. Had you not done that, I'm sure that there were a lot of people who helped you on the way as well, and the privilege did help, there's no doubt about that. But you had to do the hard stuff. You had the photographs. If you had no photographs,
we lugged them around, we unframed them, we framed them every time we traveled because we always framed them under glass in those days. I don't want to tell the whole story, but it was a lot of work. Had a wonderful assistant named Shrinu at the time.
Right.
I just want to close this by saying, weren't you the founder of Entrepeneur?
I am the founder of Entrepeneur.
So the other thing I want to give a plug before we end, he has a wonderful blog called Entrepeneur that you have different writers writing for.
That's right.
It covers the art scene and it's very in-depth
It's an international art blog. Since it is online, people who write for us are also from across the world, and people who we write about is also from across the world. So it's got artist interviews based on questionnaires. Initially we prepared the questionnaire around COVID because that was the time when we started off. It's already 6 years now that we've been running this blog, and with Ranjan Kaul, and he's the editor on board. I am more of the technical part or the relationship management and the networking, but I do write as well. But I mean, one of the last recent most articles I wrote was on the Bangladeshi artist Shahabuddin, and he's one of my hero artists.
Yeah,
I really love.
Dhaka. That was
Yeah.
another place. So we have to wrap this up.
We have to.
But I'll give one more plug for entrepeneur.
That's right.
Aakshat Sinha, you're a miraculous man. I can't
Thank you so
believe you
much.
do all the things you do.
Yeah.
You're always traveling, you're always working, and I admire that great in anybody.
People
And you're-
like you are my
and
inspiration.
you're still an enigma to me, but I like that. I don't like people who you can pinpoint and fix as being one particular thing. I like people who are broad, and you're very broad, and I like that about
Thank
you.
you so. I hope I stay an enigma forever.
I hope you do too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.